everybody, and welcome to another Top 5 Wednesday here in May. Top 5 Wednesday, as always, was started by Lainey over at Ginger Reads Lainey, and a couple months ago she opened it up for everybody to do, so a link for the Goodreads group is down below. You can go and join and see all the fun topics we have coming up in May. And this week's topic was top 5 magical items. At first I thought, like, oh, this should be really easy. And then the more I thought about it, so as much as I read a lot of things that are fantasy, I realized they don't necessarily have magical items, and I really actually had to think about this one harder than I thought I would. And I did my best not to pick everything from Harry Potter. Number 5 on this list is the Amulet of Samarkand, from the first book in the Bartimaeus trilogy by Jonathan Stroud, the Amulet of Samarkand. The amulet is sort of what it sounds like. It's an extremely powerful magical object which will protect the wearer from any sort of serious magical harm. The downside is that it gives off this extreme energy. Like, it has an aura, and its aura is really, really strong, and it's considered really, really dangerous, kind of in that respect, because it makes it, like, you know, like a high theft item, and for most of the book, it's in the hands of the guy who's our main antagonist. But the cool thing is that it's also what kickstarts the whole story, because our lead character, Bartimaeus, is hired by our other protagonist, Nathaniel, to go and steal it. A task that is not easily accomplished, but I always thought it was kind of cool. I like the idea of something that's like this extremely powerful magical object that will protect you and stuff, but the downside is that if you own it, basically everybody's gonna want to kill you for it. Oops. Number 4 on this list are the Seraphs Blades from the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, so the Immortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. I am a sucker for magical weapons of any sort, and these ones always intrigued me because of how they're described as being kind of like light and then sort of like crystal and glass, and then you're not really sure what they're made of, and I just went, I don't care, these things sound like badass weapons and they help you banish demons, and I was like, I'm all in. Can I have some? I want some Seraphs Blades. I admittedly was not 100% huge on their design in the film. In my head, they always looked a little different, but don't care. The idea is really cool. I love the idea of something special needing to be used to kill something that's otherworldly. So they're a magical item that I really, really like. Number 3 on this list is the Time Turner from the Harry Potter series. I think it's an extremely useful tool, and the whole idea of being able to go back and to give yourself more time by going back. But what I also love is that there's rules around it, so, you know, you can't go changing the past without dastardly consequences. Hermione, when she got hers, had to get special permission from, like, the ministry that McGonagall had to write for to say, like, no, it's okay for her to be trusted with this time turner. She's not going to use it for, like, personal gain or anything. It's just for academic study. And I'm like, let's consider this. The one character who got time travel in the entirety of the series was using it for academics to take more classes. Like, oh my god, Hermione, you're kind of my spirit animal. Like, you're my spirit animal. You're awesome. But I loved the way it was utilized in the 3rd book. I thought they were cool, and that was a design in the film I did like. I liked it was that little spinning hourglass. I thought it was really beautifully designed. And again, I love the idea that there's rules set with these things. I'm a big sucker where you do stuff like this and there's rules, there's limitations. Number 2 on this list is the Alethiometer from the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. It is the eponymous golden compass from the US title of the 1st book. What's interesting for me about the Alethiometer is that not everyone can really use it. That Lyra in the beginning of the series is able to read it by grace, they say, and then later she has to be able to read it by experience. And the whole idea of, yeah, she could read it by grace because she hadn't hit puberty, and then when she hit puberty, went through the change, has to do by experience, and they say ability gleaned from experience is always better than ability gleaned by grace. I thought there was something really interesting about that, and how at first Lyra can just sort of read this thing, and this compass, this alethiometer, it's a truth teller, it's a truth meter, alethio being truth, and she can read it and know what's happening around her, and how first she can just read it without a problem, and it's crazy how she can read it, and then afterwards, by the end of the 3rd one, she's like, I can't just understand it anymore. I don't just know it. Now I need to work at it. I love that it's something like that. I love that she now has to work to be able to use it. And I also think it's just a really cool thing that this thing gives you tons of symbols, and if you can interpret the symbols to figure out what's happening in the world, you know, like, that you can't even see. It's just, I don't know, it was kind of a cool object. And number one on this list, probably no surprise to anyone, it is the wands from Harry Potter. Yes, I have my own wand. I have been to the studios in London, the Warner Brothers studios, and I picked out a wand, one that I thought I liked. And for anyone who's familiar with wands, you probably can guess which one this is. If not, I give you free rein to guess whom this is. But yes, the wands from Harry Potter. Let's be honest, you read Harry Potter, you totally wanted a wand. Let's be honest, we all wanted wands. We wanted to be able to do spells, just use all the spells that I learned and do magic. I still think one of the best things about the wands is the idea that the wand chooses the wizard, and that a lot of wand lore is still sort of unexplored, unexplained, and very mysterious, and that J.K. Rowling didn't feel the need to 100% explain it. There's still a sort of logic to some of it. Again, the wand chooses the wizard. A wand can change allegiance. If won in like combat and stuff, but yeah, no, wands. I really don't think I need to say more on wands because, dude, wands. Well, that is all from me, and so until next week's Top 5 Wednesday, cheers.